Okay, here we go. All right, folks, we're live. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I don't hear any noise. We straighten that out. It was Wi-Fi situation. Here we go with the controversy in Warwick. All right, yes, we'll be doing Road Patrol Live later. There's Stephanie. Hola, one and all. No, Catherine, you put that to me in message, not in the chat. Message. You message that. It's okay. Everybody's learning. There's Andrea Lemire. There she is. I often get asked that. Yep. Yes. Message. But I certainly appreciate the effort. There we go. There's Linda. All right, folks, we're live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes with the Warwick controversy that everybody is talking about. Everyone will be talking about. We broke it. Now watch how, I can already tell you some people are going to pick up on it. That's right. And I believe we're going to have Leah tomorrow. We're going to have Leah tomorrow. Nope. Leah will be on tomorrow. You'll be able to see her. Nope. All right, we are live in just a moment. Yep. I'm still in the habit of saying this will serve as the noon report, but I still think Road Patrol report, wow, the Warwick controversy is just, I mean, it's all anybody's talking about. How much are the Democrats? But they're not paying me anything. It's uncommon. It's news. There's Danielle. It is news. So weak. All right, we are live. We're waiting for, and there it is, folks, at 1:06. This is the Road Patrol Report. It is Thursday, another nice day, folks. Good afternoon. You are listening and watching the John DePietro Show. Road Patrol Report on AM 1380, 99.9 FM. Remember, you can always listen online at our website, depetro.com. Good afternoon to everybody that's tuning in our live simulcast on Facebook, and then also our live simulcast on YouTube, and then our live simulcast on X. This portion of the program is brought to you by PR Landscape Materials in Garden Center. Now, as you can tell, I mean, the weather this week has been extraordinary. The weather going forward is extraordinary. This is a great time to plant because it's nice sunshine, warm. Next few days is going to be very warm. However, it's nice and cool at night, less watering. So, homegrown mums and kale are outstanding this year. Mums and kale sizes range 4-inch, 12-inch pots, ornamental peppers, 4 to 6-inch pots, everything you need for your fall decorations and more. Pumpkins, straw bales, corn stalks, gourds, Indian corn, native vegetables, local honey, maple syrup are available. Fall is the ideal time for planting. They carry a large selection of trees, shrubs, and perennials. Mulch, loam, crushed stone, always available. Pickup and delivery. They're open 7 days a week, and gift certificates are available. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. All right, now quickly, well, not quickly, but I do want to show you on depetro.com. So if you log on, and remember, there's no I's, DEPETRO. If you really want it, it's capital P, but depetro.com. There it is. Da, da, da. I'm holding it up for everybody. Now, let's do a little look-see or a little walkthrough. We see the Listen Live button. You click that, you can listen live. And by the way, it's crystal clear audio. You can also, yellow button, donate. Now we have links to all of our social media up there. There's Facebook, there's X, formerly known Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and then if you scroll farther down, you can also find the link to TikTok, of which our audience continues to grow. So, but as we scroll down, then we have every hour that we do on the radio is right there under radio show. So you can listen to it. Not everybody does that. For instance, not to name any names, but the proverbial pork boy constantly, not only do they not add and post all their audio, occasionally, if someone calls in and they slip my name in, they edit it out. It's really edited, rated. This is everything. That's it. Everything that's up there is right there. You also have the shop with the merchandise, information on me and the program, which actually needs to be updated. And then if you want to contact me, but then when you scroll down, you'll see the story everyone's talking about it. Opponent claims Warwick mayor calls her Dolly Parton. Now, let me just be very clear. Every story is not life or death. Okay? Not every story is life or death. A week ago or 2 weeks, I think it was a week ago, police in Bridgewater had to corral a cow. Everything is not, okay, it wasn't the biggest story, but it was a story. It was different. It was news. There was no loss of life. So, I mean, it wasn't day after day, but just for one day, it was news. Now, in the Warwick mayoral, of which right now we tentatively have Leah Hazelwood on tomorrow, booked for the show. However, be that as may, recently in the Republican primary, you had in Cranston, Barbara Ann Fenton Fung was accusing Mayor Hopkins of possession of a vehicle that they were trying to claim that he didn't own it and blah, blah, blah. And so now again, it's not life or death. It's not. But it's still a story it's a mayoral race they're going after it. Right now, because of the debate, the big story is whether or not Haitians are eating pets, dogs, and cats in Springfield, Ohio. Now, again, what does that have to do with the economy? Nothing. What does that have to do with the border security? Well, actually, it does tie in with border security. There were two wars going on. I know that. Here's my point. Listen, there will always be, frightfully, but there will always be, what did they used to tell you in the cafeteria when you're growing? Here you are wasting that sandwich. There are kids starving in Africa right now. Well, in certain parts of the world, sadly, as much as we've actually made gains in world hunger, believe it or not. But my point is, you could always go to that. You could always go to that. There's somebody starving in India or Africa or wherever. There is like a hurricane hitting Louisiana. You could always go to that. I hate you can always go to the go-to, but this is unusual. And I looked at it and I was trying to think, okay, this, granted, she's never run before. Anyone in Warwick is maybe familiar with Leah Hazelwood. She's been very active. She used to work with someone that I went to Hendricken with, who passed away tragically. So, but, and so she's running for mayor as a Democrat. And this is, see, to me, this isn't a Republican story. This isn't a Democrat story. It's a story. It's out of the ordinary. She took to Facebook Leanne Hazelwood. and I communicated with her. I think she has a fundraiser going on right now or sometime today, right at the place. It's on Post Road, right near Rhode Island Guns and Ammo. But nonetheless, she posted, what I'm about to share with everyone is my experience alone. Now, she's the Democrat candidate, and she is challenging independent Mayor Frank Picozzi. So now she's a candidate. Now, let me be very clear. Posting this on Facebook is basically the equivalent. When you're running for office, if you post on social media, by the way, you may not realize that, but I'm telling you right now, it is the equivalent of sending out a press release. President Biden, did he send out a press release that he was not going to seek re-election? No, he did not. Did President Biden take to the airwaves to announce, my fellow Americans, from the Oval Office, I'm no longer... No, he did not. He posted on X, formerly Twitter, I'm not seeking re-election. Wasn't a press release. Therefore, if you have someone, look how much President Trump uses. Does President Trump just keep sending out press releases? No. He posts things on social media. So this is the equivalent of a press release. She also says, by the way, I'm not sharing the multiple stories from others in the city that have come to me. I'll let John Howell from the Warwick Beacon do that. Now, that's interesting. She's invoking a trusted newsman in the city of Warwick. This is my story since I declared to run for office. So here's what she writes. Now, she's a female. She's running for mayor of Warwick and writes, shockingly, some who work for the city have shared with me that the person who sits in the corner office of City Hall, which would be the mayor, refers to me as Dolly Parton openly in a degrading way, complete with his puffing out his chest and hand gestures. I was going to bite my tongue, but this is not 1965. I won't turn away from this. What you allow, you inherit. And then she goes on to talk about her activity in the city, which, by the way, has been pretty extensive. But this is not every day that you have this type of thing. So he's not saying she's not talking about that. He's not saying she's not qualified. She's the one. Now, Dolly Parton, okay, dated a little bit, shows actually the age of the mayor. For her to post this, she's posting this, by the way. She is. So all we did was then post her Facebook post. She owns it. So there she is, Leanne Hazelwood. There's a picture of the mayor who's making some form of hand gesture. I don't know if it's connected. And then, see, I think this photo is hilarious. Look whose eyes are popping out. It's like Governor McGreed is saying, don't look down, don't look down, don't look down. I mean, listen, is this earth-shattering? No. Is this a life or death story? No. I think it's humorous. I think it's funny. I think the whole they're eating dog. I mean, I think that's funny. I think the Hopkins car story. I mean, what some people don't understand is there are certain stories that just break through. And this, I don't know if this is going to be one of them. But, you know, when I saw, and I gave the go-ahead for this, when we saw the photo of him, Governor McKee, now again, she's not like totally flaunting it. She's got a little cleavage going. Listen, she's okay. You know, she's full-figured, so to speak. So, and then we included a picture of Dolly Parton for reference, because I could see on Instagram some people were saying, well, who's Dolly Parton? And there she is. Now, again, Leah's attractive. She's running for mayor. We're supposed to have the Road Patrol logo behind that, but nonetheless, she took to social media. So we'll have her on tomorrow. Now, let me just, I can't believe I have to go through the checklist. I find the story entertaining. There's no criminal allegations here. She's posting that people are telling her that when he describes her, he calls her Dolly Parton and exaggerates to make the point, hand gestures and puffs his chest. Now, again, that's not, I'm not even saying well, she seems insulted by it. Otherwise, why would she be posting that? He's not saying she's Hillary Clinton. He's not saying I'm running against, Gina Raimondo. He's not saying he's saying, oh, I'm running against Dolly Parton. So that's different. That is definitely different. If you can't understand and comprehend some of the humor in some of the stories, as I've said, but you always get these people. We have much bigger things to work. Well, then you go worry about them. Okay. I'll tell you this. The Hopkins car story broke through. Didn't exactly pay off, but I can tell you the people were definitely talking about it in the city. I would argue that, what is the big thing from the debate the other night? It's not the economy. It's not healthcare plans. It's supposedly there, and I'll play the sound of it. I laugh every time I hear the sound of it. But so check it out. But I just, so someone, how much of the Democrat? Yeah, the Democrats are paying me to run that. Like, what is wrong with people? One of the downsides of social media is, and I know you have to deal with moronic, idiotic comments. I don't live in Warwick. I've dealt with the mayor. I haven't dealt with him that much. When I've dealt with him, he was fine. He's very personable. I don't have a bad relationship with him. I wouldn't say I have a great relationship with him. I mean, when I see him and we're at a scene, he'll talk to me, he knows who I am. I'm not voting. I don't have a bone to pick. I don't really know either one of them well, but that's definitely different than someone who, again, notice she's not saying, and I want to be this is crystal clear. She's not saying that that he's saying that she's unqualified. He's not, well, not directly. He's not saying that there's some conflict of interest. He's not meaning what she is saying. She's not saying that he's accusing her of being wrong on the issues, being wrong for the city, to not have plans, whatever it may be. She posted that he's walking around, mimicking her, mocking her, saying, oh, you mean Dolly Parton? So, I mean, I know it's a story. Let me be very clear. If some people don't read, we have very graphic video. Wow. Unbelievable work by one of our road patrol people on Pawtucket South. I don't understand how that happens either, where the car went on its side and then someone trying to help really dramatic. So I posted 95 South. Someone, where's 85 South? Look, what I'm telling you, people are illiterate. Since the pandemic, and you know what? Since my involvement with social media, and I'm really involved with social media, I mean, I used to know when I would just do a call-in talk show, and that's basically your only interaction with the public. Well, you only deal with the people that call, and you get a couple of, nuts and kooks and dingbats that call, but a lot of the people at least have some sense of the topic and so forth. But the thing about social media is it's just every uneducated moron has the ability to put a comment, and they never hesitate. They never hesitate to comment. Where's 85 South? Okay, well, there is a difference. And I go back, like, did we put 85? No, it says 95 South. I always like the 95, a resident, whatever, something, we'll put the city, Cranston. Where is this? Well, if I'm looking at the video, I mean, unless you need Braille, I think it says Cranston. I meant we're in Cranston. Well, that's not what you put. My goodness. I think it's a story. I think it's an entertaining story. It sounds like she wrestled with it a little bit before she posted it, what she posted about him. She intimates that John Howell has a story coming out. I think I saw some story of someone that pulled out of the race, and he's not going to run for office in Warwick, and he's moving to another town out of the city of Warwick, and he had some shouting match with the mayor of Warwick about having someone else's sign at their business and so forth. So now that, by the way, that goes on all the time. I mean, it just does. So it's very, very common when you're if you're running for office, someone's a candidate, normally you don't go up to a door. I'm saying normally. I'm not saying all the time, but traditionally, the norm is you don't waste your time. If someone has a sign, the sign of your opponent on their lawn, people don't go up. Some people do. I know someone that I didn't say it's never happened before. I'm saying normally people don't go up. But when I saw her post, and she seems troubled by it, I get the sense she wasn't. By the way, I really like DePietro.com even has the guy with the home invasion that there he is. We talked to him the other night. Gee, I wonder why they were going into his house as he's posing with $20 bills on his arm like he's doing 10 hot wieners all the way. Dino, we talked to him and his mother. I don't know if you want to post that on social media. Somebody may get the wrong idea and say, hey, maybe we'll do a home invasion there. Opponent claims Warwick Mayor calls her Dolly Parton. She claimed that. She's claiming that. Now, someone posted on another platform, this is defamation of character. Oh, yeah. In politics, how often is that successful? How often do you hear about defamation of character lawsuits when one person is running against another person in office? Let's see. Never. This is defamation of character. Listen, he can put out a statement and deny it. She could find other people that'll come forward. I mean, I don't know. We just put it out there. Why did I put it out there? Because Leanne Hazelwood posted on it. So, and she starts off talking about it, and she even invokes John Howell about another part of the story. So refers to me as Dolly Parton openly and in a degrading way, complete with his puffing out his chest and hand gestures. Now, again, there's other things we're going to touch on. Is that life or death? No, of course not. Thank God, by the way. Not everything is. Yesterday was the anniversary of September 11th. Not every day is 9/11. Not every news segment is something as serious as that. It doesn't mean we can't cover other things like this. And what I'm telling you is for those of you that don't understand how politics can work and how something can just take off. Taylor Swift said she's supporting Kamala Harris as a childless Catwoman. So don't tell me that was a comment that J.D. Vance has been taken out of context. I know what he was talking about, but that they have crowned on him, so to speak. And look at how much that has taken off in the election. I'm not saying it's right, but many times things that rocket in politics many times have very little to do with the actual race, such as, let's go to 2016, the Access Hollywood tape. Did that have anything to do with President Trump's position on, international affairs? No. Did that have anything to do with his plan for the economy? No. No, but it was still a story. All right, folks, this portion of our program is brought to you by Dreammaker. And again, I know this is going to fall hollow. I already know this. If you log on to DePietro.com, you can see the full context of the story. People are lazy. Most people are uneducated. I am telling you, people, it's shocking to me how many people are illiterate, or they that's why when I mentioned COVID, it is comical to me what I've absorbed over the past 4 years. The elected officials completely overestimated the competency of the public in being able to adapt to changes that were going on with COVID. Like, there's absolutely not. No, people, they don't read. They don't read directions. They don't pay attention. They can't absorb things. It's frightening in many ways. It is, but I live it. I live it every day. All I have to do is post a story and say the first stories in the comment, and the people that just comment without reading anything, and then they don't realize that their comment has nothing to do with what's posted. Well, anyhow, this isn't a rant that I meant to go on, but anyhow, a little framing of it. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by Dreammaker. Now listen, on this Thursday, if you're thinking of getting a new kitchen, I want you to contact Dennis and Christina at Dreammaker, 401-433-7272. Dreammaker, their beautiful design center. Now, they're right on Greenwich Avenue in Warwick, next to Koch Eye, and right down the street from Crown Plaza. So if you're thinking of a new kitchen or bathroom, Dreammaker, 401-433-7272. We've done a live stream from there. I share their Facebook page. If you're, over the next several weeks or months, thinking of improving your kitchen or bathroom, I implore you to contact them and put them in the mix. One-stop shop. They take you from concept to completion. And furthermore, maybe you have a friend or relative and they're thinking of a new kitchen or bath. Plug them in with my friends at Dreammaker. And I'll tell you why. Respect, integrity, and customer focus. They're the type of individuals that you want to do business with. Dreammaker. Well, folks, good afternoon. I also want to put in a plug. I have been telling you about Mosquito Joe. And, all right, I need to shut that. Suddenly someone has started up that they're cutting a branch. Mosquito Joe of Rhode Island. West Nile virus is around. It is dangerous. They'll come and treat your property and they kill all the mosquitoes. Mosquito Joe of Rhode Island. I share their Facebook page, and you can also call them at 401-426-2032. And now it's quiet. Now, as far as locally, I want to also, for those of you that watched yesterday, now, first of all, I don't have an update yet on the raid. The census is the Road Patrol report. I don't have an update on the raid from yesterday in Cranston, which was Homeland Security Investigations. From what I understand, they were conducting raids at several other locations, one in Warwick and one in Pawtucket. The one I knew about was in Cranston. That's number one. Number two, if you saw it, we were then actually at the ACI for an ACI protest. And admittedly, I went, okay, there they are, they're honking. And the person running it, Brandon, said, hey, we're doing the press conference over there. And my first reaction was, I don't know. What are they going to say? I don't know if I want to, blah, blah, blah. Ready to leave, I went over. For those of you that saw it, number one, I'm glad I went. Number two, he's very impressive. He's a very compelling individual. And on the platform, that one of them that we're on right now is X. Channel 10, the team you trust, who, by the way, all right, hold on. I need to close something. I apologize, folks. Hold on. Let me just play. This is President Trump talking about the dogs. It's worth it while I just...
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country. And if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So Maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
But the
television.
people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the
say
city
that
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
I can't listen to that enough. That is absolutely pure gold. Pure gold. What voters would deprive us of 4 years of? I mean, it's just absolute. And yesterday, all over social media, people were playing that sound and then showing their dog reacting to it. Absolutely priceless. Now, let me also just touch on, if you're a Trump supporter, hear me out, everybody. And again, good afternoon. It's 1:33. If you're a Trump supporter and you're voting for him, and it doesn't matter whether he does poorly or does well because you're voting for him. A Harris supporter, Kamala Harris, the vice president, Governor McKee, Sheldon Whitehouse, Seth Magaziner, Gabe Amo. It doesn't matter whether they were voting for Biden. It doesn't matter whether she does well or bombs. That's who they're voting for. I just would like people to consider that what this election is about, and I'm not saying it's fair, by the way, but this election is about there are undecided independent voters in Pennsylvania, Arizona, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada. Those states. That, I didn't say, no one said it's fair. But what you need to recognize, and I recognize some people just will never recognize this, but the only people that truly matter in that debate setting are the undecided voters in those states. Listen, you're listening right now. We live Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut. Of course, our vote, you want to think your vote matters. Of course, you want to think that. We already know the way it's going to go. If you live in Texas, of course you want to think my vote matters. But if you really want to look at this objectively, right now the states that are in play are those states. So all I would argue is, now it's very possible that the undecided voters in Pennsylvania, right? Because that's why there's a lot about fracking. And then Springfield, Ohio is kind of like right on the border. So that's why there's so much talk about that. And I get that I get messages from people, well, this isn't fair. He should be talking about things that matter to me here in, pick a place. Well, again, don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm just sharing. To me, the message should be geared towards those individuals. And this is going to be tragic if President Trump doesn't win this election. It is, because it's a winnable election. It's a totally winnable election. So all I would argue, I don't know. I mean, the dog thing is maybe that does make a difference. It's very entertaining. But all I would hope for, if there's another debate, and I have not seen officially, I think it's positive that people are watching the debates. They are. Not everybody, but they are. Huge numbers. Huge numbers. When you get north of 50 million, 60 million, the only things that get those types of numbers are NFL playoff games. I mean, the Super Bowl is a different deal because it's over 100 million people. But when you get like AFC Championship, NFC Championship, those, you'll get 50 million, 45 million. 55 million people watching, which is just unbelievable. So all I would suggest is, I'm not saying this whole business of, let Trump be Trump. That's not what we're talking about. And I said this earlier, the whole thing about the rally, she's mocking the rally. I just think there's an opportunity for him now, if he's prepared, if he's calm, to flip it and remind her, who's mocking and laughing, and the American people that someone lost their life at his rally. And there are two people that I believe are still in serious or critical condition, and he almost lost his life. So I think it's a moment of, well, you may think it's funny and you want to mock it, but I look at it differently because, tell the story. I almost lost my life. Someone did lose their life, mention the name. That'd be a great moment to say, and as a matter of fact, this was his badge that he wore as a firefighter. That could have been a powerful moment. That's what I'm talking about. So is President Trump capable of doing? Of course he is. But if he's not going to do it, it's very, very frustrating. And some of the people that he is surrounding himself with, this whole attitude of crash and burn and again, as long as you win, because there's nothing matters in this election unless you win. And this is going to be a brutal 4 years ahead if he doesn't pull this out. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by Valari Motors. Stop it and see Paul. They specialize Volvo sales and service, premium, pre-owned, used cars, largest selection of Volvos in Rhode Island, Valari Motors. Let's go through it. Where are they located? 1003 Park Avenue in Cranston. What do they carry? Great prices, great vehicles, great service. Valari Motors in Cranston, New England's #1 dealer in pre-owned Volvo sales and service. They specialize in Volvo sales and service. They stock all types of Volvos and Ford trucks, and they want your vehicle. Get the best value for your trade-in. Stop in and see my friend Paul Staskevich and his great mechanic, Steven, at Valari Motors. Pop in and see them. And remember with Paul, what I like, he's vested in the community. He lives in Cranston. He has a business in Cranston. He's running for office in Cranston. Valari Motors. I also want to mention, that Leanne Hazelwood is having a fundraiser at, is it called Lemon? I think it's Lemongrass, right down the street from there. Folks, when you're hearing about all this crime, and there's a lot of crime, and last night that was pretty good in Seekonk with the fugitive search. They had the canine, they had the drone out. It's my understanding the individual they were looking for has stolen thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. But I want to remind you again that, and it's number one, Rhode Island Guns and Ammo, Post Road in Warwick. It's right near Lemongrass. It's right down from Cosmic Pizza, and it's right down the road from Greg's. Rhode Island Guns and Ammo. I share their Facebook page. George is very knowledgeable. They have everything you're looking for, whether it is high-powered, whether it is handgun, whether it is a defensive shotgun for your home. Rhode Island Guns and Ammo. We talk to George on Fridays. You can, I share their Facebook page. Now, folks, good afternoon. This is Road Patrol Report Live. I was very impressed. I was very impressed with that. I was very impressed with the press conference outside of the ACI yesterday. I found him very knowledgeable, and he laid out exactly where he thinks, the blame goes, and that it's politics within the system. So that's why Channel 10 put out a story, and Channel 10 is 1 mile from where we were at the press conference. And Tamra Sakarchik, I found 407 instances of involuntary mandatory overtime for correctional officers at the ACI due to staffing shortages, June and July. For inmates, that means more time in the prison cells than policy calls for. But you're ignoring what the people that called for the press conference, what they said, which was the moment that the director, the warden, Salisbury, was confirmed, boom, the correctional officers went into game tactics. Okay, we're all putting in for vacation. We're all putting in for sick time, blah, blah, blah. So they blame the union for the political games. And the union doesn't even seem to be mentioned in the story. So I thought Brandon was very knowledgeable. Yes,
to create
I thought
unrest
so.
and upheaval here at the facility, all to try to undermine him and make him look bad.
Yes, that's exactly it.
And did you say 90 days? So all summer, days like this?
Exactly. They don't get to see it. And think about the timing of that. Think about the timing of 90 days, right? 90 days was when the director got confirmed as the permanent director, and that's when it all stopped. That same day, boom, all of a sudden, they all took. And let's have them take attendance and let's check their attendance to see when they all started taking their vacation.
You know, so what he framed, I thought pretty well, and I just thought, God, you're Channel 10. You're a half mile from the press conference. I saw the photographer there earlier. I thought they laid out a pretty good case. I was impressed. I didn't know that. I didn't know what they were going to be complaining about. But if you saw that and we carried it, Road Patrol Live, they point the finger squarely at the union of the correctional officers. By the way, they did. I didn't. So here's what we know. We know the correctional officers. So they hate this guy. So I don't know Wayne Salisbury. I know he was at Wyatt. I know that now he's running the ACI. I know a couple things about the ACI. Those correctional officers get $30 million in overtime. They have starting pay. Their salaries are $63,000, $70,000, $75,000. But then you have people making $250,000 in overtime. The job pays this. I could say you make an extra $10,000 in overtime. You want to maybe even 20. $250,000 in overtime that we pay for. $30 million in overtime. That's insanity. That's above their budget. They have a budget for overtime. That exceeds it. So it's very clear to me what Magritte is trying to do is get this guy Salisbury, and what do you think he's under pressure to do and rein in? Is rein in that overtime. So, okay, maybe they're not making. Should correctional officers make $300,000 a year? If you want to argue yes, all I would argue is, well, then make that the salary. But don't, this whole business where then they game the system to get that and make that an overtime. You don't need a college degree, GED, and you have people making $325,000 a year for a job that pays $63,000. I'm saying, make the argument that that's what the salary should be. Is it dangerous? Yes. Would I want to do that? I didn't say I would. But so he's trying to rein it in. As a result of that, they go to war against the guy. Because when there's somebody that works there that was recently arrested by the state police, the whole voyeur thing. And I started getting these messages, go after that. That's Salisbury's buddy, blah, blah, blah. So I know there's one news outlet they pay, and they ran embarrassing things about, oh, that's Salisbury, buddy. The state police, I don't know what to make of the whole thing. So, but I know they're running a PR effort against the director. So here's my point. In the Channel 10 story, they almost seem to just point the finger at like the warden, that's their fault. So, and I didn't think that was fair. So, then like somebody's getting very snippy about it. I mean, I learned that. I didn't know what that, right? Like you can't cover everything. Folks, this portion of our program, I want to tell you about 3 people that if you're having a problem with your feet right now, well, Dr. Rhode, Dr. Batty, and Dr. Colanano. Where are they? They're right at Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialists, located right in that Smithfield Medical Center, Route 5 in Smithfield. I call them the 3 wise men. If you know them, they're your doctor, contact them. They're just terrific. All board certified podiatrists. They take all health insurance. Listen to me. If on this Thursday, if you're having a problem, skin condition, foot or ankle pain, contact Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialists. They are 3, by the way, I've gotten to know. I mean, Dr. Batty, I've known a very long time. Used to do bonnet chat with him, but Dr. Rhode, I mean, they are. This is who you want. Let them treat you to get rid of your problem. Because let's be very clear about this. If you're having a problem with your feet or your ankles, if you're not mobile, if you can't get around, boy, that really cuts into your quality of life. It does. And many people like don't say like that's your woe. That's your cross to bear. Oh well, God doesn't want me to what you don't drag God. God put those three doctors there to treat you. And they have digital x-ray on site. Foot pain is not normal, should not be ignored. It doesn't have to be ignored. Greenville Foot and Ankle. Call today, schedule an appointment, 401 949 3220. Now, again, many people ask me, how are you so active? I would not be able to be active if I had foot or ankle pain. I would not be able to cover the amount of things that I cover if I had foot or ankle pain. Folks, if that's you, come on. Greenville Foot and Ankle, 401 949 3220. And if you're a patient of theirs, I want you to remind them that the chosen one is saying such nice things about them, which I'm glad to on my fine program. Well, folks, good afternoon. It is the John DePietro Show. So somebody did ask me, let's see, George. George wants to improve his business and asked me, who did I recommend that could do painting and do like a remodel? George, call AJ Home Improvement. It's home improvement, but it's also commercial. 401 323 9252. Frame to finish basements, acoustical ceilings, new homes, additions, commercial rehabs, painting, remodeling. They do it all. 401 323 9252. I share their Facebook page. If you have an unfinished basement, unfinished garage, contact AJ Home Improvement. Belated happy birthday to Joe. 401 323 9252. Well, folks, good afternoon. It is the Road Patrol Report. We will be out tonight. Let's see. MAGA Vixens battle. Loomer threats to expose Marjorie Taylor Greene. Election spiral. Poll. Harris builds lead. If there is a war and a feud between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Loomer, I'm with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm with MTG. I am not a Laura Loomer. I don't know why President Trump has her on the plane, flying with him to the debate. I don't. It like many of you, it's frustrating. It's frightening. It is frightening. I can't speak for everybody, but to me, something that could certainly help us out here in New England would be a Trump presidency. A Trump presidency could certainly help us. By the way, there was an incident. Let me just see. There was an incident in Providence this morning, and it's my understanding it was non-life threatening stabbing. So that's why. I mean, I would have gone, but I want to just see some of the other. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's see. By the way, this is the Attorney General. I tripped on a broken sidewalk recently. Providence suffered quite a cut on my knee, not to mention a blow to my dignity. Any help with that would be greatly appreciated. I don't understand why certain sidewalks are like that. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Patients and doctors are holding a press conference at the Narragansett Library to the Rhode Island Department of Health. So there's some problems down there. I opted not to go to that. Let me just see. Nope, that's about it. Okay. That's big. Mayor Smiley announced major funding to aid in overdose prevention efforts in Providence. That would be big because there it is. Police activity, Broad Street, Vernondale, and Spice Street. That's where during the Dominican Festival that everything broke out, where that was going on. So, let's see. I want to just make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, now at 1:52. So it's not official yet about another debate. It's not official as of yet. I also want to mention, just locally, I recognize that I understand that on the weekends around here, there are people that they like to have fun and they like to go out and they have Trump signs and they have Trump flags and they ride around the state or they stand at an intersection and they, I get email, come cover us, like come film us, like that type of thing. So just to be clear, number one, I don't really think it's news. Number one. Number two, there are certain individuals within that group that they're like a stray dog that if you feed them once, then they keep coming back. What I have found with several of them, if you go once, then every time they're going to do it, they come at you like, well, well, how come you're not feeling, you came last time, like that type of thing. Like, who has time for that? But to be clear, I believe that they would be far better served if they would, for instance, campaign for and with Patricia Morgan, who's running against Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. If 10 to 20 people get Trump signs and flags on their cars and trucks and ride around honking their horn, I've seen it before. I can tell they like it. It's fun. They like to take pictures doing that. But what it comes down to, though, is it accomplishing anything? And Patricia Morgan, who's now the winner of her primary and running against Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, she could use the help. So, all the time I get people, there's going to be a Trump rally in Johnston. Well, it's really not a Trump rally. To me, a Trump rally is when the candidate himself is there. Maybe there's a gathering of people that are supporters. That's fine. Or they're in Warwick at the Trump store. That's totally fine. And they have all their flags and they have signs and they have banners and they like to ride around and honk the horn. Again, I'm not knocking it, but I would like to see something should be done to corral some of that energy into some of the Republican candidates who could use it. If they were to do that for Patricia Morgan or go door to door with her, I like the idea that, okay, so she's out campaigning. But if you had all those people with the Trump flags and the signs, and if they were then with her, like the caravan, I mean, that could make a difference. We need balance. But whether people like it or not, until our election system in the state is straightened out, I just don't see how any Republican is either going to win statewide or they're going to win one of the districts. And again, don't kill the messenger, but the last time a Republican won statewide was Governor Don Carcieri was reelected in 2006. We're coming up on the 20-year anniversary, and the Rhode Island Republicans at the State House, until voting, secure voting, Justin Katz and myself, we talk about it every single week. You can't have all these mail ballots. You can't have unnotarized mail ballots. You can't have all the early voting. Some people think it's because of no ID at the poll. There are IDs at the poll. That's not it. They found a way around it. It's many people are voting twice. It's the unsolicited, unnotarized mail ballots. It's the early voting. Until that is controlled, they can't control who all these ballots are going to. And what the state really needs, like if there was one office that someone, said, if it was like magic wand or king for the day, if someone told me if you could change one thing, I would say to have a Republican Secretary of State, clean up the voter rolls, but not only that, tighten our elections. We don't have legitimate elections. We don't. And it's not, unless it changes, nothing changes if nothing changes. Now, folks, I want to remind you on this Thursday, if you're thinking of getting your driveway paved or maybe your parking lot, letter J Perry Paving. Call them today, 401 732 1730. Free estimate, J Perry Paving. Letter J Perry Paving. High quality, fair pricing, exceptional service, J Perry Paving. 401 732 1730 for J Perry Paving. You can find them on Facebook, also online, letter J, jperrypaving.com. Now remember, no one is better with veterans than J Perry Paving. 401 732 1730, 401 732 1730, J Perry Paving. And if you're a veteran, they have a special package for you. Letter J Perry Paving, 401 732 1730 at 1:58 on this Thursday. Folks, good afternoon. This is the Road Patrol Report. We will be out later. We will be out tonight. Now, if something happens this afternoon, we'll go. Now, obviously, yesterday we were very busy with the raid. That was Homeland Security Investigations raid. Apparently, they were 3 different locations. I only knew about the Cranston one. I did know about the Pawtucket one, but once you've covered one raid, you've covered them all. And then we're going to have to wait and see any announcement about another debate. But that's all I would argue. Like, there's a lot on the line. I just hope that President Trump focuses, takes it serious, and really delivers the type of debate performance that he's capable of delivering, because there's a lot on the line. So we will be doing Facebook Live later. Remember, check depetro.com. We have the story up. You have a female Democrat running for mayor of Warwick, and she's making accusations about Republican or independent mayor Frank Picozzi. Folks, enjoy this beautiful Thursday. We will be doing Road Patrol Live later. Stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news.